All right, thanks for joining, everybody. We've got Mike Peterson here. If you have a question for him, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll call on you. Brandon Sudge, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I hope you're well. I wanted to ask about Tiffany Hayes again. What has it been like in practice with her back, and do you expect her to play in the upcoming game on Wednesday night?
Yeah, it's been fabulous having her back. Her energy level is always phenomenal. Her talent level is obviously fabulous. And you know, she's just got this great voice. You know, at the end of the practice yesterday, she called everyone together and talked to the team and just did a great job. So having Tiff back is a huge boost for us. You know, we missed her last year because of the COVID situation, and she opted out. So we've been 2 years without her, basically, or a year and a half, and it's just great having her back, right? It's just great having her back. She did a phenomenal job, and she'll definitely play Wednesday. Absolutely.
Spencer Nussbaum, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Do you know how long Cheyenne is going to take to come back and what the protocols are for her coming back?
Yeah, so whenever a player is in that protocol, they have mileposts they have to hit, Spencer. So you've got to be X amount of days without symptoms, then you've got to post X amount of negative tests consecutively. And then it's a little like a concussion protocol, right? Then there's steps, okay? You have to do exercise, and then you have to do individual work, and then you have to practice. So, you know, she's in that system right now, in that protocol. And I mean, it's going to be a while. It's not going to be Wednesday, guarantee you that. And then it's day by day, right? And we just deal with it as we get information from our medical staff. And the team's been phenomenal about, you know, staying in touch with her and making sure she's not getting, you know, feeling like she's kind of out of the loop. And so the important thing is just while she's not able to be with us, that we do everything we can to make her with us. And then when she's ready, she's ready. Until then, we play with what we have, and we're excited to do it. But it'll be a big deal when we get her back. I can tell you that. She's a big part of the plan here.
Rafiq Lewison, go ahead.
Hey, how do you think that the newcomer Aari McDonald is going to get more?
I lost him.
Sorry, go ahead, Rafiq.
I'm asking, how do you think that Aari McDonald is going to get more justice since she only scored 2 points in the very last game? What do you think she's got to do to get more minutes for the team going to the next game?
Yeah, just has to play. I mean, I'm really not worried about her minutes. I'm really not worried about her touches. I'm really not worried about her shots any more than I am anybody else, frankly. Okay. You earn your minutes, you earn your touches, you earn your shots, and Aari's doing a great job of doing that. And this is a very guard heavy lineup. And you know, we've got 3 really good point guards. Aari is one of those, but Kennedy Carter is one, and Odyssey is another. So finding, and you know, Tiff Hayes back now on the perimeter. So there's a finite amount of minutes in a basketball game, and so you know, you earn those in practice, you earn those with your play, and she's done a great job of that. That'll be a work in progress, and we'll all figure it out together.
Alexa Philpott, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Back on Tiffany, I'm curious, because she was out last season, and I know she obviously was playing overseas, so it's not like she's coming in without having played basketball in over a year, but what sorts of expectations do you have for her and how she can lead this team, especially being a more veteran player for you guys?
My expectation is just what has happened the last 2 days in practice. Tiff has come in, hit the ground running. I mean, she was up to speed on the playbook almost immediately. Her defensive presence is hard to explain. And so it would have been nice to have her before this, right? But, you know, frankly, at the end of today, it was like she's been here the whole time. I mean, she hasn't missed a beat. Her teammates love having her back. You know, she's made a couple plays the last 2 days of practice where those who have not played with her before were just like, holy cow. So she's come back. She's immediately fit in. Everybody loves Tiff, and her play speaks for itself.
Kenya Hurd, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, it's Kenya from Made for the W. I caught the game Friday night. What adjustments are you making on a whole as a team moving forward for your game coming up this week?
Well, the biggest thing from the game against Connecticut is we didn't do a good enough job of dictating tempo, right? That was the slowest game from a pace perspective played all weekend, okay? We can't play that way. And we just can't. And Connecticut did not want to go up and down with us, nor should they have. And I just thought they did a better job of slowing the game down than we did of speeding it up. When we had the game sped up and when we were disruptive on defense, we were pretty good. I mean, we had 14 steals. It's the most steals in a game since 2016 in this organization. We had the game sped up. You know, we had it to 7 early in the third quarter, and they took a timeout. And then coming out of that, we had back-to-back great opportunities to cut it to 5 and then to either 3 or 2. And we just didn't take enough advantage of those opportunities. And then they drove it out. So there's no real change game plan wise in terms of what we want to do on the whole. We just need to do it better. And then Chicago's just a completely different challenge than Connecticut. They're a completely different team. They play a completely different style. And so we need to adjust to them a little bit. More importantly, we need to make them adjust to us. And if we're doing our job, then we'll be fine. If we're not, then we're in trouble.
And last question, Brandon Sudge, go ahead.
Coach, a lot after the first game, I heard a lot of your players say that it would take time for you guys to come together as a team and learn everybody's tendencies. Do you guys as a coaching staff, do y'all have a timetable for when y'all would like to see that start to come together? Or when would you like to see this team start to play cohesively?
Yesterday. I would love for that to happen yesterday. But it's not going to. I mean, and that's not to say that we don't have the expectation that it will. But, you know, you're talking about a group of players that, for the most part, have not played together, okay, that are new to one another for the most part, okay, and are playing a style that, for the most part, most of them have not played before. And it's the style that's going to give us the best chance to win. I mean, I think we saw against Connecticut what's going to happen if we just settle in and play 2 half-court games. It's a problem for us. You know, everybody's bigger than us. That's not a secret. Okay, so how are we going to deal with it? Okay, we need to play our style. And we did some things very well against Connecticut. We had 14 steals. We only turned the ball over 13 times. Now, we didn't shoot the ball well enough. They shot it great, and we got out-rebounded pretty badly. We need to address those things. And so this is a team that's going to continue to get better. Okay, this is a team that is going to continue to grow through the season. And we need to hold ourselves accountable to be good as quickly as we can. And we need to hold ourselves accountable to win games. And then we need to understand that this team is going to be a lot better in August than it is in May.
All right, thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you. Everybody have a great day.
All right, we've got Kennedy Carter here. If you have a question for her, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll call on you. Rafiq Lewison, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
This is Rafiq with Nothing But That Sports Talk. I understand that the other night against Connecticut, you kind of struggled a little to defend the perimeter. What are some defensive strategies that you guys worked at in practice?
Really just guarding the ball. We're kind of preparing for Chicago, so it's kind of a little different. I feel like they have a kind of different team with Candace. So we really just worked on just ice and ball screens and just guarding better, really just knowing our personnel. I think it starts with practice. We started with a 3-day prep, and we're really just working on everything that we didn't do well. I understand that our first game was a little tough, a little shaky, but it's the beginning of the season. It's still early. We're still putting pieces together. We have a completely new team that we're really trying to work out and just figure each other out, really learn each other better.
Brandon Sudge, go ahead.
Hey, Kennedy, a lot of y'all after the Connecticut game were talking about how it's going to take time for you guys to come together as a team and for you guys to learn each other's tendencies. How is that like a progressive thing that y'all have to keep working on? And then how does the return of Tiffany Hayes help with that?
It progresses because we get to play with each other every day in practice. Coach does a great job of mixing us in, and we get to play with people who we necessarily weren't out there on the floor with, or that we were out there on the floor with a bunch. So I mean, we're just mixing it up right now, really learning each other. It starts in practice. We're going up and down a little bit, getting physical, having a lot of contact with each other. So it starts there, and then it translates over and carries into the game. Then with Tip, I mean, she just brings the facility of a guard. I mean, she can play, I feel like any position, and she can play defense as well. So I think with her back, the court's going to be super open. If you've seen it super spaced and clogged against Connecticut, I totally believe we'll find lanes to drive against Chicago with her being back.
Alexa Philippo, go ahead.
Hi, Kennedy. I wanted to follow up about Tiffany. What, if anything, have you noticed from her just as a leader, as a former veteran player, now that she's finally back? I know you didn't get to play with her last year in the bubble, but what have you noticed just in the first few days with her back so far?
From yesterday and today, I've just got a little glimpse. I can tell that she's a hard worker. She's going to work hard and she's going to play hard out there on the court. And she's a communicator. She loves to communicate with her teammates and let us know if we're not in the right spot or what we could do better. You know, being older and being a veteran on the team who's been there, she's somebody that we can look up to and really listen to. And she's an important factor on our team. And I'm glad to have her back.
All right, thanks so much, Ken. All right, we've got Tiffany Hayes here. If you have a question for her, go ahead and raise your hand. I'll call on you. Kenya Hurd, we'll start with you. Go ahead.
Hey, Tiffany, it's Kenya from Made for the W. Great to see you back. Welcome back. What are you looking forward to most this season, and how do you feel that you'll mesh with your teammates moving forward?
I mean, you can ask anybody. I'm pretty easy to get along with. I'm pretty, easy to mesh with. So it's already starting right now with my teammates. I'm learning the plays, getting to know them. It's been a nice last couple of days getting to know everybody, getting to know their style of play and stuff like that. So I don't think it'll take long. I mean, everything takes time with the whole team, but for me to mesh with my teammates, I don't think it'll take long.
Alexa Philippo, go ahead.
Hi, Tiffany. This is Alexa Philippi from the Hartford Courant. It's good to see you. Seems like there's been a lot of change just within the organization since you were last here in 2019, last playing, just in terms of the roster, obviously front office and coach. So was there a moment for you where you kind of got there and you're like, wow, there's a lot of new faces, or are you just kind of rolling with the flow with?
I mean, yeah, a little bit of both. It's crazy to me. I think I said this to somebody, like, I feel like I'm the last one standing, from when I was here. When I first got here, I think I'm literally the last one standing out of everybody who's been here. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, like you said, I just go with the flow. I take it one day at a time. Sometimes change is good. So hopefully all of this plays out in our favor, and we're gonna take this and run with it and still do our thing. So we're not gonna let this, bring us down like everyone thinks it is.
Brandon Sudge, go ahead.
Hey, Tiffany, I wanted to ask you about kind of getting back in the swing of things. Has it been easy for you given that you played overseas, or have there been some difficulties with you getting back into everything since not playing here since 2019? And then also, do you have an expectation on how many minutes you might play on Wednesday night or anything?
I heard the first part of the question. I didn't hear the second.
So I was just asking, do you have any expectation on the amount of minutes you might play on Wednesday? Are they going to try to ease you in, or like how that'll work?
I mean, well, starting playing overseas and coming to this, it's always hard. I mean, I've been doing it for 10 years straight with no break. So it's never easy to, play a full year and not get nothing but maybe a week in between. So shout out to all the women out there. We all have to go do this. So kudos to us. But yeah, it's never easy. It's always hard. So you have to learn your body and know how to treat your body in order for you to be able to come back as fast as possible, but also not rush yourself. So you're coming back and actually helping the team, not coming back and hurting the team. And then as far as my minutes, I have no idea. I think that's going to be the coach's decision. I mean, I'll obviously let them know how I feel when I'm out there, or how I feel before the game, and to let them know I'm going to give everything I have. Blah, blah, blah. If I need a breather, I'll tell them. But other than that, I don't know. I can't just tell you like, yeah, I'm ready to play 40 minutes, or yeah, I'm only going to play 5 minutes a quarter. Like, I have no idea. It's just, I always go on how I feel. So if I'm out there and I feel good, I'm staying. If I'm out there and I'm feeling the playing year round, then I'm going to say, hey, I need a second. So that's it.
Spencer Nussbaum, go ahead.
Hey, Tiffany. Obviously, you've only been practicing for the past couple of days, but is there anyone that's really caught your eye, being able to play with them in person or see them in person?
I think playing with Court finally. I mean, last year we always talked about like it's gonna be crazy, like us two on the court together. And obviously that didn't get to happen because of everything. So I think that anticipation for me is what's the biggest in my head is me and Courtney on the court together. I think it's gonna be a crazy matchup.
Rafiq Lewison, go ahead.
Yeah, although it was a negative result, like, why don't you describe the whole feel of playing at the new Atlanta Dream basketball court between the limited crowds and the whole atmosphere in general?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
How much do you enjoy playing at the new home arena for the Atlanta Dream?
I actually have not played there yet, and I've only gone there once. So I've only seen it once, and that was a day that I came and watched the team. So I mean, I haven't played, but I'm sure it's gonna be exciting, and I can't wait to experience it on Wednesday.
Alexa, we'll go back to you for the last question.
Tiffany, now that you've, I guess, had some time to reflect on what your season off from the W kind of meant to you, what you're able to do with it, both just like off the court and maybe mentally recharge, as you kind of were referring to before. How do you, I guess, look at that time that you were able to spend away from the game, and how does that kind of make you feel now that you're finally back on the court and ready to get rolling again with the W?
I loved it. I'm not gonna lie. I love my time away from the game. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say I missed it. Like, I mean, of course, I love basketball. I love playing the game. But when you're a woman in this game, you have to continuously play year round. And that was, I think, 8 years straight me playing year round, and it definitely gets to you. It gets to your body. It gets to your mind. So for me to step away for that whole summer and just be able to watch basketball and enjoy the fruits of my labor, I never get to be at my home that I purchased for myself and my family. I never get to spend time with my family. So for me to be able to do that, it was great for me. And I enjoyed every minute of it. And then once I got back to overseas, had to go play over there, I was back to that, and I was back to happy playing basketball again. But I don't take either one for granted. I don't take my time away from basketball for granted because I don't get it that often. That was my first time. It'll probably be maybe my last for a while again. So I love every minute of both, like being on the court and having time off. So.
All right, thanks, Tiffany.
Thank you, guys.